What is up, everybody? Hope we're all doing well. Welcome back, Xanaver. How you doing today, my man?
Well, you know, I think we're both a little tired. It's been a busy week.
I feel like the last 3 podcasts, we just start out by saying, oh, we're tired, by the way. I hope you guys know that. I feel like all we do is complain.
Yeah, right.
But it's, again, another busy week. If you guys have been watching the videos, I got jury duty tomorrow. So
yeah, which is going to be fun.
We'll see what case I get. We were joking. What case could I possibly get?
Yeah, we were thinking maybe. We'll get the FaZe case,
even
right?
Though
Make it all worth it.
We're not in California where the jurisdiction lies, but maybe I'll get like the Phantom Lord, CSGO Lotto, you know, those cases. Probably going to be a simple case, but that is why we're recording this episode.
Probably going to be a missing cat or something.
Yeah, something stupid. Guilty, by the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're recording this a day early. So just in case any of the stories we do talk about today are a bit behind, that's because we had to record a day early. But let's hop into it. Episode number 9.
Yeah. 9.
Yeah, we are one away from a very special episode we have no plans for. So let's hop into it. I will be first. Dr. Disrespect.
No, Mr. Dr. D. What's good?
Just looking at you, waiting for the first word to come out of my mouth.
Yeah.
You know, the man himself, well, I shouldn't even say Doctor, I should say Guy Beam, his actual name, which, by the way, I forgot was his actual name until he finally.
So did I.
Did anyone? Because when I first saw the article, Guy Beam, I was like, who the frick is that?
Yeah, right. I was like, why? I don't.
I understand why he sticks to Dr. Dis now, which is a weird story in itself, but he has now come forward as himself, Guy Beam, to apologize for Dr. Disrespect's actions, which to me,
just that sentence alone, right?
Like when you think about, like when you actually sit back and think about the way he came out and apologized, it like blows my mind where we're at right now in society, where you can come forward and apologize for yourself as someone else,
right?
And everyone is like, who are you? Like, we know who Dr. Disrespect is, but who is this guy apologizing? Oh, it's you.
Right.
And it was so.
Oh, it's you, the guy who cheated on his wife.
Whoa, dude. Chill with that.
Well, Dr. Disrespect didn't do that. Guy did.
Yo, oh my gosh. Hitting him hard and heavy right off. I didn't even think about that. Was it Guy or was it Dr. Dis?
Yeah, right? I feel like now.
When he was with the girl, what do you think?
Maybe this is just a whole thing in his life.
How do you think he introduced himself to the girl that maybe we shouldn't be talking about?
There's so many questions.
Okay, you know what?
He's opened the floodgates.
You know what, Zan? It happened. I think we can talk about this as long as it's not in the title.
True.
When he met this girl that he cheated on his wife with, how do you think he introduced? Do you think he introduced himself by saying, "Sorry, I have so much caffeine, I'm slurring my words."
Yeah, you're fine.
When he introduced himself, do you think he went up and said, "I'm Guy Beam"? Or do you think he said, "I'm Dr. Disrespect that body boy"? Like I bet he said Dr. Dis.
Yeah, right.
So I think it was Dr. Disrespect has one broken Twitch terms of service in the law and cheated on his wife, and Guy Beam is free.
Do you think that's how Guy told his wife? He was like, "Yo, Disrespect did something, and I'm not happy with it, but." He went off and did his own thing.
Can you imagine? Oh my God.
Yeah, right.
This is like, what's that like? What's that? Is it what's that freaking creepy Frankenstein like character like Dr. Heckler and you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know. Over my head, my guy.
Yeah, frick. You guys. Can you imagine sitting down at the dinner table, honey? The kid's right there.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you guys something. Dr. Dis got dirty last night. But Guy is right here. Guy is here for you, baby.
Guy's still with the family.
That explains the entire situation why it was okay. Because it was just Dr. Dis.
That's how he got away with it.
I can't believe we started out like this. Okay, we should get back on track.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay, so he apologized.
Yeah.
But then after
good on him for that.
Yeah, it was a good apology, whether it was Dr. Dis or Guy. Either one who apologized is a great apology, I thought. But then this morning, he goes after Kotaku article writers about who kind of chipped away his apology for the same reasons we did, because he apologized as Guy and almost put off Dr. Dis as a separate character. And he had to live up to this character, so what he did was okay in that way. So he apologizes. Within 12 hours, he's going after people who criticized what he did in his apology. And I'm like, Doc, just let it go and we'll forget about it.
No, yeah, right? Like, move on. He has potentially got away with something that's very problematic for him.
Which he has done already once before.
Yeah, right? Like, let the situation lie.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Yeah, that is honestly one of the best things I think we've ever talked about. All right, your turn, Zan. Take it away.
All right, so this is what Jim Sterling has described as the video, if anything, the one that he wants to be known for.
Okay.
And he's talking.
Who's Jim Sterling?
Jim Sterling, for everybody who may not know, he's a video game journalist, a longtime member of the game journalism community. He's an independent person, like not part of like a larger site or anything.
Okay.
He's primarily, I think most people see him as a YouTube content creator.
Oh, sorry. When you said Sterling, I instantly thought it was Jim Sterling. Remember that video where the goalie but it's Scott.
Back now to Scott Sterling. He looks a bit worse for wear, but ready for round 2.
And Shaw takes a moment. Here he goes with the approach.
Oh! Sterling with a fantastic dive. The ball flies straight through his hands and once again strikes him straight in the schnoz.
And let's see it again on the old instant replay. Oh, every excruciating detail captured in HD perfection.
Scott Sterling. You don't?
No, I don't know.
You
All
right, sorry.
See,
you
I'm
guys
not,
know what
I'm
I'm
not
talking.
a sports person.
No,
okay.
It's not. It's a funny viral. Whatever. All right, Jim Sterling. My bad. Independent. All right.
Yeah. So and he's very, very good about calling out AAA game companies for their poor business practices or their anti-consumer business practices.
I like him already.
Right. And this video specifically was about how game companies are very aware of addiction and the problems that can cause for people, especially when it comes to gambling and loot boxes and such, right? And they very much take advantage of those and prey on people. He in particular points out this one presentation called Let's Go Whaling by Torolf Jerstrom. And
nice name.
Yeah, whaling being, like whales being people who spend ridiculous amounts of money on games, right?
Yeah.
And this is a presentation he's giving to developers called Let's Go Whaling.
All right.
So just from that alone,
is that a gambling term too? Like
maybe,
for casinos, is it whales or is it another animal? Do you know?
I don't gamble. So
we're not doing a good job. I'm not doing a good job.
Yeah.
You guys.
The only gambling I've ever done is in Pokemon in the casino there.
So that's how they classify people who spend a lot of money on video games or just those kind of things. Whales.
Yeah, whales.
Could be a more appropriate term, but all right.
Yeah, I think it's just because whales are big and they're like, oh, these are people who bring in a lot of money.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Right? Yeah. So in this presentation, they discuss I think it's just good for people to hear this very straightforwardly because I think it doesn't get talked about enough. Like, it's not every time there's loot boxes in a game and somebody's like maybe don't have the loot boxes. It's not pity the poor developers. How are they going to survive?
Yeah.
It's maybe we don't have to do things in such a scummy, ridiculous manner all the time.
Yeah,
right.
For sure.
So they talk about a procedure called hook habit hobby, which says in order to draw consumers to your game, you got to start with a hook, like a deal that's so lucrative that the gamer would be crazy not to go for it, right? Probably in the form of a welcome package or something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because he says, obviously most people, if they enter a free-to-play game or a game they've already spent money for, they're probably going into it with the mentality of, I'm not going to spend money on this game.
Yeah.
Right? And just that small purchase, even if it's small, even if the developer themselves is at a bit of a loss in that purchase, they're still getting that initial...
They're hooking.
Yeah.
They're hooking the whale.
Yeah. They're getting their foot in the door.
Next step.
Next step is the habit. Where they slowly ramp it up, where they give them little things here or there. Be like, maybe you should play the game more. Maybe you should.
Okay.
And then eventually, what they want people to do is see it as a hobby that they are totally cool with investing a lot of time and money into, and they'll just do it without thinking about it.
Wow! Right when you said that, I thought of games like Overwatch or CS:GO, where you hook them in. They all have their own packages. I mean, I guess CS:GO has cases. They're not really too enticing anymore. But when it comes to Overwatch, or whatever game it might be, they offer, like you said, those packages, even if they're at a loss. But then a lot of games out there also give you free crates or free loot boxes if you continue to play or come back to play, right?
Yeah.
Like a ton of games will do that. Smite, if you win a game, you'll get a chest every now and again. I know a lot of you guys probably don't play Smite. I understand that.
Got to throw it in there for our team league.
But there's a wide variety of games out there who offer these enticements, and so that's the habit portion of it, where they keep on giving you these cases, and you open one and you might get a semi-decent item, and all of a sudden it becomes slowly a hobby over time.
Keep doing it over.
It's a genius strategy. It makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's just they go about it in such let's take Overwatch for example. I don't think Overwatch is the worst game about this, right? Definitely not. Far from the worst out there. But even if you haven't watched the Jim Sterling video, I strongly recommend you go do that after this because it is very, very eye-opening, especially some of the testimonials he has in it, where people are talking about just even like the one time like opening like a box. Like they don't have to buy it, but just opening the box can get the cycle started where if they have a problem, they'll just go back for more and more and more with just that that little one thing.
Yeah.
So
there are definitely a few people out there, even ones you could even think of your friend group, who are easily addicted to things where you think there's got to be a psychology or a mindset of people out there that should not be opening things, like should not be allowed that portion of a game because they're so addictive in their personalities. I think we all know someone like that. So it's kind of funny to have you word it out as an actual business strategy.
Yeah, right.
To hook, habit, hobby. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's hook, habit, hobby.
When you put it out in those kind of words, it makes a lot of sense, and it's kind of a scary notion.
Yeah, I think it's something that everybody knows about in the back of their mind, that like, oh yeah, this is how it works to a certain extent. But just hearing it put so like hearing like a developer get up on stage and just be like, yo, let's leave morality out of this, guys.
Yeah,
right? We can talk about that later.
We got some whales to catch.
Yeah, right.
So it's definitely scary.
I'm trying to go fishing.
And speaking. As we roll,
we roll. Keep the ball,
I kind of like
Let's
this,
go,
dude.
Yeah.
FaZe CEO has now responded on the case.
Yeah, that was I watched that video. It was really interesting. He was firing some shots.
Can we say one thing?
Yeah.
Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know how you guys feel. He's a good-looking dude.
Yeah, he's not well dressed.
Well dressed, nice.
Especially for like a CEO of like an esports company.
Yeah,
it actually looked like
casual. He obviously enjoys his freedom of I don't know what we're talking about.
Freedom of
his jawline was.
Do you want to talk about like his office setup next?
No, I'm just saying. I always respect a good-looking guy, formidable in his apparel as well.
Yeah.
Besides that, though, he made some very credible points, and I will say he swung me back a little bit towards the FaZe side. I won't say I'm over on the FaZe side on the issue, but he made some very good points, and I will rehearse them as well as I can with my caffeinated mind. The first of which is these California talent agency laws apparently that we thought that FaZe Clan had broken may not even apply to Tfue because he is an athlete, presumably. He was hired as a competitor, not as a streamer.
Right.
And these laws apparently only apply to talent as an artist or actors.
Which makes so much sense to me.
Yeah.
That, like, out of everything, like, just the fact that he said that alone, like, clear as, like, I was thinking, like, the entire time, like, there's no way they didn't sign that paperwork, right?
Yeah.
They have to have had something. And, like, it's good to know, they actually did cover themselves.
So, in that point, but again, it comes very subjective in terms of how the courts are going to rule because there are not really any cases like this.
Yeah, there's no precedent.
Yeah, so when it comes time for Tfue's argument, his lawyer made the opposite. He's trying to say Tfue is an artist, and so that's why they should apply to him. And you can see that side of things too, right? He creates.
Yeah, he does create, but to the same point, you could say anybody creates.
Yeah, and maybe that's how they could. It depends how the court's going to look at that.
Right, of course.
So when it comes to that, it is very subjective. I think it could go either way. And depending upon how they make their arguments when it comes time, if it ever even makes it to that point.
Yeah.
So that point, I'll give to FaZe. They made a very solid point in that and did a good job at presenting that information.
Yeah, good on them for like calling that out like right off the top.
Yeah, and there were a few other minor points as well, I would say, in their favor. I would think that the big other major point, though, that's always touched on is the $60K.
Yeah.
And it really bothered me, a clip from that. The CEO clearly says, it almost bothers me that we have to defend the point that we only made $60K off Tfue. When I think it's fairly obvious that both parties have benefited greatly from each other.
Right.
I mean, and they kind of try and lean on the argument that Tfue has made tens of millions of dollars, and then they kind of avoid the topic of his image and likeness probably brought them sponsors and partners, right? And so FaZe has probably made an equal chunk of change from this, but that is always avoided in this
potentially,
manner.
Yeah. I think
so that's where it gets to me a little bit hairy. That's where I'm still on Tfue's side.
The waters get a little bit muddy then, because like I imagine some of those sponsorships that are kind of hard to like say this one specifically was because of Tfue unless it went directly to Tfue.
Yeah, and you look at the impressions he is pulling in, the numbers, and of course his name in general is bringing in. We will never know what sponsors approached FaZe or what numbers were brought to FaZe because they knew they had the #1 Fortnite player in the world.
Right.
So there are certainly two sides, and again, very subjective how the courts will see that. And I don't like the point that it seems like they are trying to target, at least for the younger audience out there who cannot view it from an outside perspective. They keep bringing up, Tfue has made millions. He's making tens of millions, as if that makes their actions okay. Just because he is making so much does not mean you did not make just as much.
Yeah, I think they're trying. They're probably just trying to combat all the people who are just like angry at FaZe because the way the story initially broke, because it came from Tfu's lawyer and all that, it made it seem like FaZe was taking like so much, like taking him for granted, taking him for advantage in so many ways. Mm-hmm. And I think they're just trying to like square the books to a certain extent and be like, hey, it's like, it was a mutual thing.
Yeah.
We were trying to do right by him to an extent.
Mm-hmm. And at the very end, they do show it was actually Tfu who apparently had offered them a contract they could have signed. They couldn't have signed it.
And that's the type of thing I would give someone like they're never gonna sign this. This is gonna be,
but
this
you
I
can
say
that,
I
that
gave
way,
them a contract.
Exactly. That way you can say you did.
Uh-huh.
And so for me, like you said, I think this fight has now gone a closer to even, and so I'm excited to see what happens. I'm actually excited to see what happens.
Thank God, FaZe may not be dead.
Yeah.
Right. And we may not lose them.
Yeah, and I'm glad that we can have an open discussion. Like you were more so seeing through FaZe's eyes the possibilities, and it's definitely gone back more in their favor.
Right.
I think I'm kind of glad we can say that. Yeah, but definitely both sides have solid arguments, and I have no idea what's going to happen. So
for sure.
We will see how it progresses.
Anyway, slightly less fun story. This is from PC Gamer, really good article from them. I highly recommend you guys go check it out after the podcast, right?
Don't go check it out now.
Not right now. Yeah, because I'm about to explain it to you. Yeah.
Our team leader checks when people click off videos. Watch when you said that. People are just stop.
Everybody like, oh, I got to see what's up with PC Gamer. Oh, no.
Enough of this podcast crap.
Yeah, right? Wow.
Hit us with it, Sam.
It's really not the type of thing I expected when I came into work yesterday, but apparently rampant racism and toxicity are driving players away from Mordhau.
No. Wait, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
He showed me this story yesterday.
Yeah.
This story is freaking shocking.
It's insane. And it gets worse. It got worse after that.
Well, of course it would. Before you get into the explanation really quick.
Yeah.
There are so many games out there where there are racists, there are sexist. Never in my mind would I have thought Mordhau. When this game launches, there will be racists out the arse.
I was just waiting for it because I don't know what it is about medieval melee-based games, but
where people just think it's okay to be.
They just attract Nazis and bigots.
Yeah, like extremist, white people. Let's be like. All of a sudden they're like, oh, the medieval game.
Yeah,
we can show our true nature.
Like I heard there were only white people in medieval times.
Wait, when were medieval times? I was about to say 200 years ago. I'm like, wait, that's Old West. That's like Old West.
Yeah. Let's not get into the exact definition of medieval times because then people take issue with like literally every single time period that you say it is. So let's just not even start that argument.
That is 100% the type of person. Like, there's this guy right now in his basement wearing a knight's helmet, waiting for Mordhau release. He's like, we rise again. Medieval times.
If you just looked at the Twitter pictures of the people like responding to this, it was insane. It was like wild. Okay, but here's what actually here's what's going down. Right?
Let's get into it.
So story starts off nice, right? You start off happy for the developer because they're like, hey, we only had white men in the game originally as available characters because we're a small team, didn't have time for more.
There's where you went wrong. Sorry. No, you keep on going.
No, I think it's fine that's how they started and they made it clear. Hey, we want to bring people of color and women to the game down the line, right? Mm-hmm. And that's their plan currently. They're going to do that. They said they want to, right?
Yeah.
The problem begins when they know their community is aggressively toxic and kind of racist, right? Mm-hmm. The developer agrees with that in this interview. And as a solution, instead of implementing filters like many other games do or a reporting system, there's no reporting system in the game whatsoever, by the way. They were just like, yeah, you know what? For those racist people who might be offended, we're just going to include an option where you can just turn off all the women and turn off all the other people of color and go straight back to, if you want to have a game, if it's just white dudes, cool.
And it wasn't true as well. He admitted this would only make it worse.
Yeah, he was like, we don't know how it's going to work out.
If you are that high up in a company and you are releasing an update like that, and you, as a side note to your update, say this will probably only make racism worse.
Yeah.
What do you expect people to do if you pretty much just said it's going to be okay because we expect it to get more racy?
No, yeah, right. They're not like their answer was never, hey, let's figure out a way to better our community and maybe have a little bit less of this. It was like, they give us a lot of money though, you know, so we can maybe.
It was legit like we know what's gonna happen and we're kind of okay with it at this point.
Yeah, it's like it is insane. And then you know what afterwards, right? After the article came out, of course the devs came out on Twitter and like, hey, yeah, this was never our plan. We never actually planned to implement like any kind of toggle to turn off the women and the people of color in the game. Not actually what's going on, right? And of course their fans were like, that's where I saw the Twitter pictures of you know. We got receipts though.
Yeah.
We got receipts from back in April of one of the devs on their forums going like, yeah, we're thinking, you know, we might have an option to take the women out of the game because, you know, it's not historically accurate.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, my guy, that's not even true though.
Were there?
Yes, there were. There were.
I know there's Brienne of Tarth from Game of Thrones.
See,
well, was there actually female knights,
there
though?
were. There are not so much like knights on the European side as much, right? As much. There were a couple. You can find historical records of a couple, and in other countries, a lot of their women could easily body like any European knight.
Wait, I'm gonna sound really stupid, dude. Were there knights of other colors back in?
Yes, there were. There were a lot. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just checking because knights did seem like
totally
a fairly white thing.
You know what? And that's because of the way it's often presented and a lot of the way that history is.
Probably sound really stupid.
No,
I'm just trying to get a point.
Honestly, no, that's a very fair perspective to have.
Thank you. Someone out there is not going to think that.
I don't see how you could see that as unreasonable because the way history is that period of time specifically is presented to us, it's all white dudes.
Yeah.
You know, you never see the Moors or the Mongols or anything like that in standard media. Anyway, right?
For sure.
But they were there. And it's not like the game is historically accurate anyway. They have giants in it.
When you're going for historical accuracy, you're gonna go. That's so peeving.
If you're saying it's historically accurate, then you're not gonna have people swinging swords at each other in plate armor, right? That wouldn't work. Your sword would, I don't.
What do you mean, Zan?
Historical accuracy is such a stupid argument, and the racists always make it for these games. Where they're like, well, it's just more historically accurate if it's just white guys. I don't know. That's all. We just want to preserve the historical accuracy of our title. And it's like, my guy, y'all are so. Can you? My sole request is that people learn a little history. History's cool. History's really interesting.
Knowledge yourself, like I need to apparently.
Yeah,
I think the number one rule. No, it's not people need to knowledge themselves. It's people need to not be racist. Okay.
Yeah, but that's too hard.
But the devs are also
That's way too difficult.
The devs are not doing any favors here by offering the option in the first place. For
real. It's like it would have been better if they had said nothing.
The entire issue.
There was even. Let me real briefly. They have one of their oldest, most popular threads on their forums is called post your inwards, but with a K, so a knight, right? And that thread is some of the most toxic. It's ridiculous, right? I walk in there.
Post your N-words, but with a K in front, so it's okay because it's almost spelled like the beginning of night.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
They mean night as in.
Yeah, right. And if it was just that title,
they let that forum go.
Oh yeah, they're this is we don't think it's racist.
Are you stupid?
They were if some people are misunderstanding it in the content inside as racist.
No wonder the game is bathed in racism. They've been allowing it for this long.
No, yeah, I think it's just I don't know how For Honor managed to avoid this. I swear it's only because they have ninjas.
Died too fast.
No, it's because you have ninjas in it, right? Yeah. There's Japanese people by default, so the racists are no, I can't have this.
Oh my gosh. I'll move on to the OpTic topic.
Yeah, let's get it.
And a little preference for you as well. I think this will be this might be my last one actually.
Right.
And so you'll have one more right after this one.
All right, we could go. Whatever.
You can roll a fourth. This will be probably mine. We'll see how it goes though. OpTic Gaming have relocated.
Yeah, to LA, right?
Yeah, as of announced by the time you guys see this, actually will be 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, probably.
This is very weird because we already have Hector responding within minutes.
Yeah.
Hector respond, that ain't us.
Wild. Yeah.
That ain't us. Which I'm hyped about.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, Hector. That's my boy.
It's get him.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Get him, my guy.
He literally should have announced right then and there, Hectic Gaming TM
yeah, right?
or something. Yeah. But it was super weird because Hector says that. Crim6 responds and just laughing. That's all it was. Threatens to wear different jerseys at a CWL event, I do believe. Scumpy, COD members, by the way, he replies with a gif of what's going on up there? And so the real big question is, obviously they are now owned by Immortals Gaming Club, who I believe is based out of LA. So you move OpTic Gaming to LA, apparently for the CDL, which is the new name for the Call of Duty League.
Which doesn't have the same ring to it as CWL, to be honest.
Yeah, CWL to me sounded better, but I think they wanted to differentiate. It was weird. Obviously, we don't know the reasons right now.
Yeah, of course.
And maybe they think OWL is going down the tube, so they wanted to be separate. And so maybe that sets precedence for all their franchise leagues, to do their own thing. Not a huge deal, I guess. But a huge deal in the fact that they have now, with the backing of Immortals, they have landed themselves a franchise league spot.
Yeah, which is, that's something.
But it seems like your top players aren't going to be going with it.
No, like for real. I feel like Immortals could have handled this at all so much better.
Oh, right? Yeah. There's plenty of ways.
Yeah, they gotta have known. Hector has been
making they don't have to have known, Zan.
No, yeah, I feel like Hector's been making
money coming out your freaking ears
for so long. Like, if you do not get his blessing and the blessing of the COD team, the whole thing is dead in the water.
You would think, right?
Yeah.
I've talked to a few writers out there. Adam Fitch being one of them has been a great kind of guy to talk to about this. Like, you would think, if you had any knowledge of the esports scene, just this statement alone, that OpTic Gaming would not be successful without Hector and the OpTic guys. Is it that hard to know?
No, yeah, that's like saying, okay, we're gonna take Banks out of FaZe. We're gonna take we're gonna take the Mickey out of Mickey Mouse.
Let's
just
but it'll still be fine.
Yeah,
that's a very good real life comparison.
Yeah, like, people like mice.
We'll take Tom Brady from the Patriots, and it'll be we'll be fine, guys. There won't be an uproar. Right? Like when you, it just But then Adam told me, kind of put it in perspective, these are big wigs. These are guys who have legitimately no thought process about this. They think they can come in, buy the biggest brand name, it'll retain the same value, and you can spread it somewhere else and make use of it. So it does make sense that way, right? If you don't have internal knowledge about it, if you've not been following them for a long time.
Yeah, if you don't care about your investment whatsoever and you just make calls like this because you expect... It feels to me like they just bought OpTic, like they were going to Target, right?
Yeah.
They were going to Target and they saw OpTic on the shelf and they saw that lease and they're like, that looks pretty nice. Let's just grab that.
OpTic.
They didn't turn it around. They didn't read the back of the package.
All the little minor
they didn't read what was included. They didn't read.
But the tiny little things you read off really fast. And
they were just like they play video games. Let's just.
Oh, we raised $120 million in funding.
Yeah.
And wait, OpTic's here on the counter.
Yeah, right.
We'll take this.
Yeah, why not?
We'll take a league spot. We'll take do we have Hector or not? We didn't read the back of the writing.
Yeah, like maybe he doesn't come with. Maybe he's
he'll come with us.
Yeah, worst case.
Hector's OpTic is our OpTic. He'll be fine.
Worst case, he's DLC. We buy him later.
Yeah, we'll expand to Hector. But even more so is the fact that the CDL or whatever you want to call it, the Call of Duty franchise league, it's city based. Right. And so that means it'll be an LA name, so they can't be LA OpTic Gaming. It would just sound stupid.
No, yeah.
They will not be using OpTic Gaming name besides what, like merch now?
Who knows? Maybe they will go for LA OpTic Gaming.
I mean, LA OpTic does not sound super dumb, but it's like you spent that much money, you got a league spot, you got an Overwatch team to sell, and then you got like an OpTic name that you're going to be using on what exactly?
I don't even know if they know, realistically speaking. So, they might just be like, oh, yeah.
So, like, with Hector saying that ain't us, I think it pretty much, we can presume that he is doing something else.
Yeah.
And then it brings
chances are, right?
Yeah, so I'm excited to see where he goes. And it probably will not be LA.
Let's, real briefly, let's buffer, have something fun to laugh at, all right? Because I saw this right before we came in here from a Capcom shareholder meeting.
Oh, heck yeah.
Because, shareholder meetings.
Wait, you like Capcom?
Oh, I love Capcom.
No way.
Capcom is great. CapGod is back, actually. They were dead for years.
They're a fighting franchise. Would you consider them a fighting?
No, primarily I wouldn't consider them fighting games.
Okay, that's why.
It's like all their other stuff.
That's how I pictured them. Never mind. I'm stupid.
No, yeah.
Did you know that there were only white knights back in the day?
Did you know that only white people could hold swords?
Did you know only white people have hands strong enough to hold swords?
It's this really interesting evolutionary trait.
But sports today, yeah, God, okay. Anyway, moving on before we get into something we shouldn't be talking about.
Usually shareholder meetings are pretty boring because it's just like a bunch of people investing in a company going like, so what is this Fortnite thing we're hearing about? And can we make that money too with our stuff, even though it's not the same? But, anyway. So from this last shareholder meeting, this one shareholder came through swinging with some of the funniest comments.
This is a Capcom shareholder?
Okay. Yeah. So he leads with, my son is fervent online game player, but says Capcom's graphics are unsophisticated. Please do something about this.
Wait, this is a shareholder?
A shareholder.
As in like a off the street shareholder, or like an actual big shareholder?
No, like like a dude who puts money. Like you
So
have to
this
put
is
in like money
So
with a
to be
capital
at, so
M.
he was at. So it was not.
Yeah,
like
he was
okay.
he was in the meeting. Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
so he had to have at least millions in.
No, yeah, these are the type of questions that go directly to
My
the game.
son
dev.
is fervent what?
Online game player, but says that Capcom's graphics are unsophisticated. Please do something about it. And just so people know, Capcom is killing it in the graphics game right now.
I wouldn't have guessed that, to be honest.
Devil May Cry 5 is gorgeous. Resident Evil 7 was amazing, right? Like Capcom is killing the game. They're doing an excellent job.
But his son
But
is fervent online player.
His son is displeased.
So was the response?
Yeah, and the responses are always like, oh, okay, we will try to do something. Because it's not like Capcom's going to be like, what? What is your son? Is your son blind?
What if he's like a professional streamer or something? Like,
then he probably would have been like, my son Tifu.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah, right. And then he kept going too.
Oh, yes,
he wasn't
my
like
God.
he didn't just leave it at that.
Why
after They
stop?
were like, no, all right, you might as well keep asking. He's there already.
this is a real dad, by the way.
Yeah, for real.
This is a man.
Yeah, he's just looking out for his boy.
Yeah.
You know.
You imagine I imagine, like, did his son had to have gone to his dad, right? Daddy, I'm fervent online game player. Like,
the graphics are unsophisticated. Tell them.
I picture, like, if you're a son to a big shareholder of Capcom, you got to be wealthy. So it's got to be. I feel like wealthier people always say daddy. I don't know if that's a thing.
I don't know. All the like rich,
Maybe I just-
all the like real problematically rich kids I knew. Surprising amount of them did not say daddy.
Really?
They had all the other tropes though. They were all.
They say papa, father.
Some of them, a lot of them just called their dad by their first name, which is always super weird.
Richard, when you go to the Capcom shareholder meeting, tell them the graphics are unsophisticated, Richard.
No, they'd be like, we're having a conversation. They're like, oh yeah, I gotta go home. Dave is waiting for me.
Oh, that is so true, dude. Oh my gosh.
And you'd be like, who's Dave?
Oh,
I'm like,
dude.
oh yeah, that's my dad. I'm like, what?
I think I consider myself to have, as of right now, one wealthy friend, and dude, he called his parents by his first names. Yo, shout out Spencer. That's crazy.
Yeah, right? Yeah,
oh
that's just how that shit works. I don't know why.
Nailed it.
Yeah, but anyway.
He continued. Sorry.
He goes on. He says, regarding arcade operations, when my son was younger.
Oh
Pardon
God.
I'm perpetually sick. That's my
Yeah,
secret
yeah.
to
If
health.
you guys have not been able to, so wait, regarding arcade.
Regarding arcade operations, when my son was younger, arcade trading card games were popular, generating long lines to play. I would really like to see a comeback for arcades as a family entertainment option. I want you to invest in an explosive hit arcade machine.
Sorry, I almost started drooling, but I was also because I was just like, they want to bring arcades back.
Yeah, he wants them to bring it back. He wants them to bring the new hit arcade game to the streets.
Jesus,
forget
Christ.
how much money arcades are losing. His son used to play them. Okay,
Jesus freaking.
They used to be hyped for his boy, so you gotta bring him back.
Oh my God.
And then you know how he closed it out? It was brilliant, genius. He's like, have you provided any gifts for shareholders today? I want some original Capcom merchandise.
Oh my God! Did this guy say this all like to the like?
Yeah,
the board?
there's a transcript. Yeah,
like
this is all
he would say this face to face to the board.
Yeah.
Yo, he must have money.
And the answer was, of course, like no.
He must have money in Capcom if you're willing to ask for gifts.
I don't know. I feel like
that's not too big of a grab.
Shareholders that invest in like game companies, I feel like they're all just super boisterous, and most of them don't know much.
Yeah.
And then so like it'll be like a.
I don't know. He got very specific there. Like he asked for arcades back, dude. It's not like he was saying.
Yeah, well, he only
let's
asked
start
for
releasing monitors.
He probably was like, yeah, I remember taking my son to an arcade, and he doesn't go anymore. I wonder what's up with
Capcom, what are you doing?
Yeah, right. Capcom, why isn't Resident Evil 7 in the arcade? Actually, like for real. It's just like.
Plus, if you're arguing for arcade games, you're not gonna get like gorgeous graphics out of arcade games.
No, yeah, especially because it's like you gotta.
There's only so much they can do, especially when you look for the old arcade. I don't know. I'm confused.
Yeah, it's rare to see a new arcade cabinet come out.
I respect his kahunas.
If ever,
kahunas?
yeah.
Did I say that wrong?
I think.
Kahunas is what I said.
Kahunas, yeah, we'll go with that.
I told a kid he had big kahunas, and I thought we probably got demonetized for that. So this is an adult at least.
I mean, we already probably got demonetized for saying,
for real.
For yeah.
Oh, for the first story.
Yeah, probably like the first couple actually.
There's no way he's gonna hear this, but if Doc ever hears a clip of that first part, you could wail on us so easily. One hit and I'm out. Okay, we're sorry. It happened. It's to be talked about.
I mean, realistically speaking, with the way he went about that, if he didn't want that, he shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, guy.
He should have put out two. He should have put out 2 videos. One is Guy. One is Dr. Disrespect. And then everything would have been fine.
Yeah, apologize for both of yourselves.
Yeah, right. You're like, I as Guy apologize for what me as Guy. I made the decision.
Dude, that'd be funny if from now on he published videos on both channels, or whenever he tweeted out on both of his Twitter accounts.
Yeah. See, that's the way he should have leaned into it. He should have been like, because he always uses the excuse of, this isn't me, this is just the personality I make up, right? So if you're going to do that, of course people are going to call you out on it, right?
For sure. That's, yeah. Understand. Hey, do we have Randy Watch or not?
We have like a super brief one.
All right.
Like literally 2 seconds.
Let's roll it. Randy Watch.
Randy Watch. All right. So I actually got an email from Gearbox, which is fun.
Heck yeah.
Like standard advertiser email.
Oh, okay.
I'm just pulling it up real quick. But it could not have been more on brand for Randy Pitchford than if it was like an ad, like, oh, hey, yeah, if it was just like an ad of people punching their own employees, right?
Yeah. Excuse me, sorry.
I got it open. It is the world's first VR prank game.
Ooh.
For Penn and Teller the Magicians.
What the frick?
From Gearbox Software.
Wait, sorry, you lost me already. VR?
Yeah.
VR prank game?
VR prank game.
You just gave me a headache.
Yeah, I know. Right? Just those words are so like.
Yeah. What is it?
Yeah, it's. Not a lot of details in the email, to be honest. It's just like Penn and Teller the Magicians. They've got a VR game coming out in collaboration with Gearbox. It looks like they describe it as a virtual torturous toy box of frankly unfair, unkind, unnecessary, and underhanded magic tricks and simulations.
Whoa, this actually sounds kind of cool. Never mind. I take back what I said. I'm sorry. I'm just picturing being in a VR and having like a show in front of you.
Yeah, I don't know if it would actually be that. Who knows?
That's maybe. Tricks, tactics, torture, whatever the freak you just said. That sounds like that's what? What else would it be? And pranks? That sounds
it's not like a trailer.
It could be like a horror game plus a show. I actually don't.
I just have zero faith in Gearbox to do it like that.
Yeah, for sure. But like, okay, I'm actually down with this idea.
For all we know, because Pitchford is involved, it'll just be a picture. It'll just be like a girl like doing that nonsense.
And then you're right.
And then just being
it would be.
It's magic.
Yeah,
Look,
you'll
guys.
put on the VR headset.
Yeah.
It'll be a neck of a woman, and you can see this down, and she's doing the tricks out like this. And then occasionally Randy's face pops up. She's like, "You like what you see?" And then
it's just Randy giving a critique, like, I really like how in this scene, right? She takes
would, dude.
He absolutely would.
And plus, you imagine if they had to get a female character to play the role, he'd be reviewing applicant after applicant. Good job.
No, yeah,
Jess,
he'd probably have like a scrap sheet. He's like, you know what, Stephanie, that was good, but I really feel like your soul wasn't in it. I feel like you could have.
We need a retake, Ashley.
Can we get somebody to clean up the set?
Ashley, Stephanie, whatever your name is, can we get a retake? Clean the set. Let's go.
Yeah.
Just take after take.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be the optimist for once.
Yeah, I mean, it could be totally fine. I mean, most of the people who work at Gearbox, I have to assume are good people.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I have to assume that to have faith in humanity. That,
for sure.
Most of them are okay, and Pitchford is just being pitchy.
Yeah, for sure. Being pitchy. Just Randy being pitchy. No big deal.
Just it's the norm, Casual pitchiness.
But here's to episode number 9, Zan.
Cheers.
I hope you guys all enjoy it. We'll be back here next week. Remember, I'm on jury duty, so it's going to be a bit of a slower week these next couple of days, along with July 4th.
Yeah, of course.
But we'll be back next week.
Happy Barbecue Day.
Yes. Wait, for all you non-Americans, I'm sorry, unless you guys do celebrate.
Yeah, that's why I say always Happy Barbecue Day.
Oh, yeah, because you can always barbecue on any day.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
We'll be back next week, episode 10. Something special coming.
We're going to have cupcakes.
We're going to eat or something stupid.
Yeah, it's going to be a mukbang podcast.
Oh, God, cringe, dude. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Thank you all for watching. My name is Jake. This is Zan, and goodbye.